So I often get asked the question, what is functional medicine? And how does functional medicine differentiate from allopathic or conventional medicine? And so, well, let's do the easy one first. Allopathic versus functional medicine. Functional medicine is looking at why somebody has gotten the symptoms of what they have. Whereas allopathic medicine tends to look at how can we cover up the symptoms? How can, if we have inflammation, how can we knock it down? What we want to know in functional medicine is, well, A, has the person themselves been in a situation or have they always been sick? Is this something that they were born with or is this something that developed? 9 times out of 10, it's something that people have developed. So if you haven't had it your whole life, what's the trigger? We want to know the underlying cause. And then we want to start to go at that cause and change the environment so that the genetics that are expressing themselves that are causing the problem, we can start to shut that down. So, functional medicine is a science based, don't let anybody tell you that it's not based on science, because at the IFM, everything that we look at has the research behind it. So, it is a science based approach at looking at what is causing the underlying symptoms and looking at the body as a whole system and how can we get the body back to where it's not expressing those symptoms. And that way the patient now can control this. So as for myself, for example, it's like if I eat tons of gluten or if I drink beer, if I was to drink beer and eat pizza, I can almost tell you if I do that for several days in a row, because I've now built up my resilience, if I do that several days in a row, I'll break out in a rash in my arm ledge. And it's predictable. So I now know that those are the causes. So I have healed myself using the systems approach in functional medicine to allow my body to have the resiliency that I had when I was 17, 18, 19, and into my 20s. Because when I was drinking beer and experimenting with all the different alcohols and looking at what there were, then through my 20s and I was a bartender, that at that time is when these genetics, the what we call non-celiac gluten sensitive genetics, started to express in me. So now that I know that, I can control that. And so if I want to enjoy a beer with friends, I can do that without having the repercussions. So once again, it is not looking at what the person has in terms of symptoms, itchy arm. It's looking at what causes the body to react that way. And for different people, it's different things. For some people, it is gluten. For some people, it's insulin issues. For some people, they have problems with their gut or whatever the case may be that causes an inflammatory reaction. And it's now, okay, how do we get that inflammation down so that the body can heal and the patient, the person, can live the life that they want to live? And the cool thing is once you get to the part to where you're feeling good, then you can start to optimize your health. So then you can start to say, hey, mom and dad were not doing well in their 50s and 60s. And now I want to sit here and say, I want to take my life and I want to optimize that into my 80s and 90s to where I'm feeling good until the day I die. And hopefully I wake up dead one day having experienced this wonderful life, not this slow decline of health that we now have in America. So let's just take a minute and circle back around to the functional medicine and allopathic medicine. It's not an either or, especially in this clinic. When we work with you with your medical doctors. It's an and also, because you can't say that allopathic medicine doesn't work for getting the symptoms under control. And sometimes the symptoms are so bad or so dangerous that you need help there short term while we work under the hood to fix the engine, to fix the problem. So functional medicine is not an either or, it's an and also. And that way we can help you the best that we can. Now, if you're just starting to experience issues, well, then we can get in there early and functional medicine can start to reverse the problems. It can start to change the terrain so that those aberrant genetics actually don't express themselves. Along those lines, when I was talking earlier about science-based the science-based systems that we do, everything is heavily, heavily researched. And functional medicine is looking at the body as a whole, and then it starts to look at the systems in the body. And we want to help those systems actually work well. So instead of sending you to a gastroenterologist and a neurologist and a rheumatologist and all of these things, we look at the systems and say, what's causing the inflammation here? Why is the body attacking itself? Where can we come in with nutrition and exercise and supplements to help the body quell the inflammation, to stop the bad things, the phenotype of inflammation from happening? So it's very important to know that this is not alternative. It's not voodoo. It's not, I don't know how many things I've heard it called. It is actually systems biology, and it's getting into your systems biology and helping you heal from the inside out. That's why our tagline is we help you heal from the inside out. We want to teach you what's going on in your body so that you can go one round with us and now you know how to help heal yourself. And it's pretty simple. It may take a while depending on how big a hole you've dug, but we can fill that hole in and then start to make it so you're climbing a mountain and not digging a hole. So as we're looking at the systems of the body and we get an underlying reason or knowledge of what's going on in the body, that expands our tool chest. So now we have the ability to really dig in and start to help you understand A, what's going on, B, what we need to eliminate, and C, how to help you heal. And so it's that getting in there and helping you understand yourself. It's kind of like if you bought a brand new car, you got to know where the turn signal is. You got to know how to turn the windshield wipers on. You got to know how to turn the headlights on or how to turn everything off, whatever the case may be. Where in the world in this car have they put the hazard button? So those are the things that as we do our testing, and then once again, this is why we call it a science-based approach, because we are looking at tests and it tells us what's going on. We understand how that happens in the body, and then we start to reverse it. Functional medicine really is getting to know you, the patient, because we need to know, A, when you were conceived, if you know this information, if you when you were conceived, what was the environment? Did your mother have a good diet? Did she eat ice cream and pickles and drink soda the whole time? Because we now know how you kind of grew up or developed. And that helps us know, okay, are you going to have high insulin responses? What's happening here? How do we help you work with your body and with your genetics so that you can feel the best that you can? And that's, once again, this digging in and getting to know you. And this is functional medicine is cooperative medicine. This is not me looking down at you saying, hey, you're going to do this, this, and this. No, it's hey, let's sit down. Some people are having problems with their hormones. Some people are having problems with their microbiome. The organic acids may be off and show us that you have issues in the Krebs cycle. If we do a genetic test on you, we can see that you have problems in the HLA genetics, or maybe you have issues with your COMT, and so you are basically wired to be nervous all the time. It's understanding those things, and as we understand those things, giving you that information and telling you how this affects your body. Because what you think, what you eat, what you do, what you believe, it all affects you. And so you have to know that. And as you get to know that, that puts the power in your hands on how you can actually help heal yourself. And that puts you in the driver's seat. Doctor is nothing more than teacher. Doctor, if you look it up, means teacher. And so we want to teach you how to be the healthiest you can be. Patients of functional medicine doctors, especially ours, often tell us they feel empowered and they feel heard because we sit down with you and we take the time to get to know you. This is another thing that functional medicine is. Functional medicine is an interaction. It's a give and take. It's a hearing you, taking that information, looking at what's going on, and now telling you, okay, this is how this affects you, or this is how this could affect you. You know, this, it's not cookie cutter medicine. We have to get to know you. That's why we tell you the first time we meet, it's going to be 2 to 3 hours. And we have some uh, questionnaires for you to fill out, and we need you to fill those out before you come in so we can start to figure out, okay, hey, this looks like this. We need to ask these questions, and it helps us compose intelligent questions to get to know you better because that's the person that we have to know. We have to know each and every individual person. Patients of functional medicine doctors, especially ours, start to realize that the expression of genetics comes from your experiences, whether you've experienced trauma, toxins, stress, um, any. We have an ACEs score, an adverse child's experiences scores. It takes all of that into account, and then we get to see how that starts to express itself. If you go back and read about the patients, or not patients, if you read about the people that suffered at Auschwitz and the concentration camps, you can see for 2 to 3 generations the thrifty gene being expressed because they were literally starved to death. And so in those subsequent generations, this gene is still active. So now we have some generational trauma that we have to work with and help this person understand. And so now we give them a set of tools that they can now go and address these things with. As I was just looking, or as I was just talking about, those things that affect us, trauma, toxins, stress, whether stress be spiritual, emotional, financial, we look at all of those things. And as we look at those things, we start to get an idea of what is happening inside the person. And that's why we look at the genetics. What is this person likely to express as? And as we see these things, we want to start to tweak your ability to handle these stressors. Some people need to take a pause. Some people need to go for a run. Some people need to work out. Some people need to avoid sugary foods. Some people need to eat more of the color of the rainbow. Some people have a very high inflammatory response. So if you're like me and you're APOE3/4, which may not mean a lot to you, but those who know, when I get stressed, or APOE3/4 means that I am more pro-inflammatory, and I also have an increase, 20% increase in developing late stage Alzheimer's. So that goes up. If you're a 4-4, it's even worse. So I want to control inflammation. And the way that I do that is with meditation, and I also use fish oils. I use high dose fish oils. Those eicosanoids help suppress the inflammation. It's those types of things, eating an anti-inflammatory diet, doing stuff like that. It's those things that you learn so that you can take control of your own health. So that's kind of functional medicine in a nutshell. Functional medicine is a set of tools that allows us to look at this person as an individual and start to figure out what their genetics are, how their systems are going haywire, the underlying cause of their problems, and then allowing us to get in here and start to reverse those problems for your better health. Once again, I am Dr. Miller with Integrated Health of Indiana. If you need help with a chronic condition, please look us up. Go to the IFM website and find a functional medicine doctor near you. Get help, because you don't have to suffer and you don't have to take a bucket of pills to live. That's not the way that we are meant to live. You have a great day. You can reach us at integratedhealthofindiana.com, or our phone number is 812-346-1757. And you can reach me by email at drmiller@integratedhealthofindiana.com. Have a great day. Thank you for taking this time to look into the health of you and your loved ones. This broadcast does not constitute a doctor-patient relationship. It is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only and is not a replacement or substitute for care. If you are having issues, please seek a qualified professional trained in functional medicine. We would be happy to be of assistance with both in-person and virtual consultations. Thank you.